Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about measuring your lawn for fertilizer applications. Most people, they'll just take a bag of fertilizer, they'll dump it in their broadcast spreader and run around their yard all crazy, and they'll just keep going around until it's totally empty. Yeah, okay, maybe it'll work, but it probably is not going to be as good as if you actually put down the recommended application rate for your lawn. So what you really want to be doing is measuring the square footage of your yard and then calculating for that section of yard based on that square footage how much fertilizer you want to put down. You really want to weigh that fertilizer in a bucket or put it on a scale in like a handheld spreader or something like that, and then apply it to that area so you don't have any extra fertilizer left over and you're not over applying fertilizer to your lawn. And if you're new to the channel, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dennis, guy of all trades, and if you found this video, I appreciate you clicking on it and watching it. So stick through to the end. I have a lot of good info for you. All right, so a couple things you're gonna need. You're gonna need a tape measure, obviously. I have this Milwaukee one. This one's pretty great. It does up to 100 feet, so that should work out pretty well for me. And then a pen or a pencil. All we're basically gonna do here on this notepad is we're gonna sketch where the house is. So what we wanna add to this drawing, obviously, besides the lawn, is all the areas that we need to subtract from that total square footage, right? We have about an acre here, but in total, there's really only 20,000 square foot of lawn because some of it's woods, some of it's taken up by the house, the shed, the driveway, and the patio in the back. Now, what you want to do next is you want to kind of just glance at this, right? Figure out how you want to break up the areas, right? So to measure square footage is length times width in feet. So you just multiply the two numbers. So I'm looking for either a rectangle or a square here. So I can see this area here. I'm going to dash this off right here. And I'm going to say, you know, this is the front, we'll call this the front right lawn, whatever. I mean, you don't even have to label it if you don't want. And this is more just for calculation's sake, right? I mean, you can kind of figure everything out pretty easily, but this is the way I like to do it. So we're gonna say, hey, this is the backyard, right? And then what I also want to do is I want to measure the sidewalk, the patio, and the shed, figure out the square footage of those. I'm going to measure the overall length and width of the backyard, and then I'm going to subtract the square footage of the sidewalk, the patio, and the shed from that to give me an accurate actual lawn area. So that's basically all there is to it. Now, with measuring, even though this thing has like a spike on it, you're going to want to have something that you can place on top of this. Otherwise, you're going to get frustrated and start cussing because this thing's going to pull out of the ground. So you can either use a spike, like a large nail or something, or a rock or a brick or anything like that. So let's go outside and take some measurements. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the front right side yard first, and I'm basically just measuring from the edge of the driveway all the way over to the property line over there, and this will pull out of the ground. So actually all I'm using, it's kind of funny, is a gallon jug of water here. All right, so it looks like we have about 71 feet. And we're gonna do the same thing from basically the front of the house all the way to the front road. And then we're just gonna repeat this for every other area that you saw me draw on the notepad, and also have the notepad with you so you can write down your measurements as you're going. All right, and this is basically what you end up with after you go around and measure everything. So I have on the front right side about 6,000 square feet, 875 in this little section on the side of the house. And all I'm doing here to get these numbers is I'm taking my length times my width. So we have all of our different sections here. I didn't want to bore you with showing video of me measuring every single one of them, but all of these combined give me a total of 20,469 square foot. So most fertilizer bags are either like 12 or 15,000 square foot. I have seen some that are 18,000, but I guess it's, you know, it's all dependent on the brand that you decide to use. We'll have a video on that also, so be on the lookout for that in the future. All right, so just a quick kind of rundown here. I'll have more info on this in another video, like I said, but 2.6 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So we're gonna take our front right yard, for example, because it's an even number here, 6,000 square feet. So I know for every 1,000 foot, I need 2.6. So all I basically do is do 2.6 times 6. And that's gonna give me my total pounds of fertilizer I'm gonna need for this area here. So what I will do is I'll typically, instead of just dumping the fertilizer into a bucket, I'm gonna weigh it, and I have a little handheld scale. I'll show you in the other video on how to do that. And then I'm just gonna apply fertilizer to just this area. So I know by the time I'm done walking this area with my broadcast spreader, I have the proper application. All right, guys, and if you found this video useful, please consider hitting that like button. Also consider subscribing. It's free, and then if you don't want to be subscribed, you can always leave. But thanks for watching anyways. Be on the lookout for the next video on how to apply fertilizer. I'm gonna go over that, and hopefully we can grow a nicer lawn together. Thanks for watching.